Hey Bobcat Nation, Al Weston here. It's time again for the Bobcat Coaches Corner. First one with women's basketball this season. We're excited about a team that's performing pretty well on the court. Going to talk with Mo Smith. We're going to talk with Thresia Elskamp today. And it's all coming at you right now. Hey Bobcat Nation, we're back. We got Mo Smith with us today. Going to talk some women's hoops. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Good, sir. Good. Now, this season has been an interesting one for you. Started out like a house of fire and a little bit of up and down over the last couple of weeks. What's been the big difference between that hot start that you guys had and some of the struggles you had as of late?
Well, I think it's a couple things, Al. One of those things, I think our schedule has gotten tougher as the season has progressed. And, we were playing some really good ball, and we were facing some teams where, they didn't know too much about us. We didn't know too much about them. And I think experience kind of helped us to be successful early on. And once we got into conference, hey, everybody knows each other. Absolutely. Just really competitive games. We were in a lot of those games, so 3 out of 4 of those games, they were very winnable games, I thought. And, we just didn't capitalize. It was just one of those back and forth games each time, and we just didn't make plays like how we needed to. And hey, that's what happens during the conference time. You got to bring your best.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there something that you can point at and say, hey, we got to get this done? Is it defensive? Is it making shots offensively? Transition game. What types of things are we going to try and work on to get back to that success that we've had?
Well, I thought last game really exposed us in a lot of ways. It was on the offensive front and on the defensive front. Our staple is our defense, so we really got to get back to playing what we call our brand of basketball, which is hard-nosed, in-your-face defense where we're stingy, not letting those teams just score easy, taking away those easy transition baskets, rebounding the basketball. That goes along with our defensive plan. So we got to get back just to playing our brand of basketball, and it starts with defense. When we were successful early on, it was a consistent thing. We were getting consistent stops, and we were getting the game going on the offensive end. It's I don't know how it's like with other teams, but for us, our defense gets us going on the offensive end, and so we got to get that back going.
Well, if the other guys don't score, they can't win.
That's right. That's right.
Now, I know that the brand of that defense, that your defense that you talk about, is very physical and it involves a lot of strength. And I know that has been a focus for you guys working in the weight room and making the young ladies a bit more powerful to be able to take that sort of beating as the game goes along.
Right.
So was that a focus for you to try and get in the weight room and become a kind of a bruising defense for this conference?
Definitely. But we go back I guess 3 years when most of these girls were freshmen, and we started our strength and conditioning program with our strength and conditioning coach, Kurt Reinhardt, who's a great strength and conditioning coach, and now we're starting to see the fruits of their labor, so to speak, and so so it's I guess we look at the whole process. It started a few years ago, and now we're starting to see like the benefits of it, and we did have a really good preseason, a good off season this year, and we definitely seen the biggest jump as far as strength, as far as conditioning, as far as power. As far as speed and agility. And so that's definitely a focal point. Yes, you're right.
One of the things that I think was big for you early on was depth, too. I mean, you guys were able to pull some people off the bench and not really lose any of the skill, lose any of that strong defense. You got a player in Brandy McKinney that comes off the pine and puts points in for you. Right. And you've got, other folks like Belinda Scoffsma, and you got pieces that you can filter in and out, and Kayla Upchurch. Right. Once her knee gets back to 100% and she feels confident in that, she's going to be a heck of a scorer for you. And she seems to be picking up as the season goes along, getting more confidence that way. Right. Is the depth going to be a thing that's going to be big for us down the stretch?
Oh yeah. Before the season began, we thought, and we still do think that we have one of the deepest teams in the Peach Belt. And I think when it's all said and done, as we finish down the stretch run of our season, our bench is going to be a huge factor of that. And you're right, Kayla's starting to come around. You know, Brandy is always explosive most of the time off of the bench. Belinda, she's slowly but surely coming back around. So once we get consistent play out of our bench, I think you're going to see us play more consistently also down the stretch in the conference.
Now, talk to me about, I think a big change for you this year is having an actual point guard on the roster, which is kind of nice.
That's right.
Larice Walker,
Right.
as a freshman, in my mind, has really, you know, been able to take care of pressure,
Right.
been able to score some when called upon,
Right.
and has been a solid, consistent performer for you, not turning the ball over a
Right.
ton. Is a lot of your success coming on that freshman shoulders?
Oh yes, most definitely. We've had our bumps in the road the last couple of years with life without a point guard, and Larice is just a breath of fresh air. And to be honest with you, she's probably doing more so than Toby and I could possibly imagine. You know, we knew she was going to come in and be solid, and she's been a little bit better than solid. You know, she'll have her freshman up and downs and hit those freshman walls sometimes, make those freshman mistakes, but she usually rebounds pretty quickly, which is kind of atypical from a freshman. And so it's really good to have Reese, you know, running the point, and she's running it with confidence too.
One of your leading scorers and a consistent performer for you is Anisha Donnelly.
Yeah.
Wonderful young lady,
Yeah.
and going to be a good impact in whatever community that she ends up
Yes,
in. But
yes.
this year, she really has kind of the consistency has been there more for her.
Right.
She's had a couple of games in her past of 18, 20
Right.
points or more, but now she seems to be providing that on a night in, night out basis for you.
Right.
And what's been the biggest difference for her game?
Well, I think she believes in herself now. Anisha's struggles in the past couple of years, you know, we saw, you know, a lot of greatness and potential in her. I think Anisha sees that now, and her teammates believe in her. Her teammates want her to be more aggressive and more assertive. How wonderful a lady she is, like how you say. She can be really unselfish, sometimes too unselfish. And so we tell her, you know, you have to be aggressive and score for this team to be successful. And she's doing those things, and it's good to see her be more assertive this year. You know, she has an unbelievable work ethic. You know, Coach Wagner has done a great job with her in her individual workouts. You know, so many times he's come back and just brag about how much she's gotten better just from those workouts and her ability just to kind of stay with it and work hard each and every day. So it's good to see her, you know, just progress and really become the type of player that she's capable of becoming.
Anisha seems to have like a raw athleticism
Yeah.
that a lot of players at this level don't really seem to have. I know that we've had some great basketball players here
Right.
in your time frame, Marquita Driscoll
Right.
and Shamir Jordan and folks like that.
Right.
But it seems as though she's coming into that athleticism now. She's always been able to leap and be quick
That's
and,
right. That's
and
right.
those sorts of things, but now she's able to turn that into scoring
That's
instead
right.
of just,
Right.
looking
That's right.
good out there.
Exactly.
So Anisha, I mean, she doesn't have a jump shot.
Right.
You know,
It's better. And it's one of those things, Al, where she does. And in the individual workout, she'll knock down 15 and 20 in a row. So it's one of those things that we know that she has to find out and have confidence in and shoot it because she's really developed that shot. But like how you just said, you know, nobody knows because she doesn't shoot it that much. So she has to have confidence and knock that shot down.
Exactly, and that's going to help, you know,
Right.
spread defenses and all those sorts
Right.
of things.
That's right.
And right now, though, if you look at Anisha Donnelly's shot chart, you know, it's going to be very similar to LeBron James.
That's right.
You know,
That's
it's
right.
going to be
You're
everything
right.
around
That's
the
true.
hoop.
You're right.
But you know, so I mean, the ability for her to develop again is just a junior.
Yes.
You got another year of
Yes.
her coming back
Yes.
and a full half season here
that's right.
of continued development too.
That's right.
It's exciting. Well, we're going to take a break, Bobcat Nation. We'll be back with some more with Mo Smith. We'll talk about the future of this season, where he thinks this squad can go. Maybe talk a little bit about the past too, as an alumnus. So we got homecoming coming up next week, and we'll talk some more about that with Mo in just a minute. We'll be right back.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Adopting a new pet is a rewarding experience. And shelter pets make super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Being a dad can be tough.
No. What do you mean she's not coming?
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
But when you're willing to do anything,
It is I, Cruz Zinkorbell. Okay, time for cake.
it's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
All right, hey Bobcat Nation, we're back here with Mo Smith. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll have Thresia Elskamp for the last segment of the show here today. Excited to talk with the young senior and find out about her career goals and things along that nature. Now, looking at this team, Mo, one person, of course, that I haven't mentioned yet is Shantiana Keys. You gotta throw Keys out there if you're going to talk about women's basketball. This is one of those scenarios. It's a once in a lifetime type of student athlete,
Yes.
and Wendell Staten, our athletic director, will tell you that. Just the combination of on the field or court success combined with an individual off that's going to be doing some great things.
That's right.
Have you ever been around a student athlete that just is this driven and this successful and this well-rounded?
No, I haven't. Al. She's a rare breed, no doubt. Keys is just a very well-rounded person. She can go in any arena. She's one of the few people who can just go in any arena, talk and just be comfortable with any type of person. She has that same drive and passion with her teammates. She has that same drive and passion with her fellow student mates and classmates out in the community. So she's a terrific young lady who excels on and off the court, and that's what we try to get here at Georgia College. And knowing that we were getting her, we kind of got her times 20. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, gold mine there for sure. I mean, just again to recap, freshman of the year in the conference, a couple-time all-conference as well, was an academic All-American a year ago,
Right.
and just earned academic All-District last week, which is the next step in.
Right.
A finalist for the All-State Good Works team,
Right.
and she got a finalist for the Boys and Girls Club Peach of an Athlete
Right.
award as
Right.
well.
Right.
The list goes on and on of the successes. The Student Athlete Advisory Committee president for us, the regional rep for the conference, and all those sorts of things. So Shantiana Keys, just what also amazes me too is her ability to still be humble with all
Yes.
of that involved. The 4.0 GPA.
Yes.
You'd think she'd have a bit more arrogance to her, but there isn't very
Right.
much of that with that
Right.
young lady, is there?
No, there's not. There's not. One thing about Keys is, sometimes she'll find out about the awards before I do, and I have to hear it through you or get it through email. Keys, why you didn't tell me? Oh, it's nothing. Well, and it goes back to her humbleness, and that's what she has. She's a very humble student athlete, and she's just well balanced. I've never seen a student athlete, and that was always a concern with me. She has so many things on her plate. Okay, something is gonna suffer.
Sure.
Classroom, basketball, communities. But you know what? None of that. None of those things have really suffered. I mean, she's done a good job just keeping up with all those things on her plate, and not just keeping up with them, but excelling. So that's a pretty nice accomplishment on her part.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I've always admired student athletes in general. I wasn't one in college, and I barely got along with a tiny GPA that I had, and sleep until noon and skipping classes, and I didn't have anything outside of class to do.
I got you.
So I can't imagine.
You needed the athlete part, didn't
Yeah,
you?
maybe that would have straightened me out some. I don't know, but I couldn't have got into Georgia College. That's for sure.
Right.
I can tell you that much.
Right.
But thankfully, I'm collecting a paycheck from you guys instead. But Mo, you have a unique perspective of that situation, of course, being a former student athlete yourself here at this institution.
Right.
You were a member of probably the most successful men's basketball team here, and with Julius Joseph and
Right.
Earl Grant and those guys went to the Elite Eight. And tell me, what do you think has been the biggest difference from your time as a student athlete back there in the late '90s and early 2000s, and then to today? What's the difference for the student athlete experience here at GC, and then maybe in general?
Well, I think it's a more holistic approach now. Not saying that it wasn't it was negative or bad when I played, but the student athletes now here at Georgia College, they have so many resources out there. They have so many things to get into, positive things to get into on campus, and it's just really just a wide array of things where the student athlete can kind of take part of and really feel a part of the campus.
Sure.
And a lot of that has to just do with, just how Georgia College has changed. I mean, they have just so many great things going on, all the way from housing, all the way from, the academics, the campus clubs, or the student activities. And I think that's just a, tremendous thing for the student athlete, to really take part in the other parts more so than just the basketball, just the athlete part. So that's how it's changed, and I think it's a good change for the better. When we played, it was basketball and books. I mean, that was it. I mean, it was just student athlete,
Sure.
and really you can make a case that, hey, it's more than student athlete with these kids that we have now, just because of all the other things that they're a part of, and just the community type things. I think that's great. I wish we probably would have done more, as student athletes when we played, because I really didn't know the importance of just giving back and serving the community, the community engagement, getting the community here on the campus, and us going to the community to engage with them. So those are just different things right there. And I like the spirit. I think everybody is more involved in the athletic experience now, which is so neat when you have professors coming up to you and telling you about your game, when you have administration coming up to you and telling you about your game. Just the other day, Dr. Dorman and his wife, our last home game, I mean, they were into it. After the game, they just said, wow, just love your team, love how they play. Awesome. They play hard, and they really broke down the game of basketball. And they know what's going on. So it was so neat just to see, them do that. And they're not the only ones, just from the top to bottom, all over campus. It seemed like that everyone is involved.
Absolutely. All right, well, big couple of weeks coming up here, man. We got 2 home games this week. You got homecoming coming up next week as well. What do you think that means for these current student athletes, that homecoming experience? You got the concert and everything fun during the week, and it all leads up to a basketball game on a Saturday.
Well, I tell you, that's one of those things that I was just talking about. When when we have our homecoming now, it's a whole week drawn out, in a good way, just process of, building that Georgia College spirit all through the week, and we just kind of cap it off on that Saturday with the game. Yep. And so the student athletes really, really look forward to it. When those fans come and fill the seats, and everybody from the campus kind of come fill those seats and really display their school spirit. Our players feed off of it.
Sure.
They feed off of it. The coaches feed off of it. Don't have to do too many pregame hype talk, so to speak, because it's homecoming. So the atmosphere, we're expecting it to be electric and really exciting. So we're looking forward to it. I know the players are.
All right, so looking forward now. Peach Belt Conference play for the rest of the year up until March, and obviously the 4 teams that make it in the West into the conference tournament. We were on the outside of that bubble last year, so I know that's one of the team goals is to get into that tournament. Man, the women's side, both sides, just seem so balanced this year.
Right.
There's no one team that's really running away with the whole thing.
Right.
You don't have very many nationally ranked teams.
Right.
Just everybody beating up on each other.
Right.
You don't have that Clayton State squad that's number
dominant.
1, number 2 in the country, and
That's
just running everybody into the ground. This is going to be one of those years. I wouldn't be too surprised to see that number 7 or number 8 seed pull off the conference championship.
Oh, no doubt. You've hit it right on the head, Al. I think that with this being, this is the closest that each team has been in years that I can remember, just from top to bottom. And we're still in the thick of things, even though I think we're 4th or 5th right now in conference standing. There's only 1 or 2 losses that separate us from the second spot. We enjoy that. We hadn't had a chance to be in this position in some time now, and our student athletes, our players, they're looking forward to it. They're really, still see the hope and the chance of doing something really special this year. So that's going to be a really, should be a really good time to finish off the conference season. But you're right, it's wide open. It's wide open. Every game is important. So we got to go out there and just take care of one game at a time.
All right, absolutely. Well, watch them take care of one game at a time this week. 2 home contests. Got Montevallo Wednesday. We got Georgia Southwestern on Saturday. Let's see, what else? We got homecoming up next week against Columbus State. Great rivalry there. And push through the rest of the season, try and get one of those playoff spots and make some noise in the postseason. Right. Well, we got Thresia Elskamp coming up after the break. Thanks for being with us, Mo.
Hey, thank you, Al.
Appreciate you, buddy. And we'll be right back with Thresia and some more Bobcat women's basketball in just a moment.
Quiet, please. Wait a sec. I'll take one. Oh, yeah. All right. All good. Take care. Way to go. Nice. Bring it on. Gotcha. I'm here for you. Oh, no. Please, please, please. I'm waiting. Interesting. Not buying it. Not fair. That's it. This conversation is over. Oh, brother.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things.
I'm having a stroke. I'm having a stroke.
Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time. Time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, the sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
Kids will spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Hey, Bobcat Nation, we're back here with Thresia Elskamp. Thresia, thanks for being with us today.
Of course.
All right, so your story, your background, you come down from Wisconsin. How did you get all the way down to Georgia to play basketball?
Well, I went to a JUCO in Wisconsin, and they noticed me. They were looking at another team, and they noticed me there, and I got a scholarship to come here.
Okay, so were you playing in a tournament or something along those lines?
No, it was just our conference play. Coach White was actually from Illinois, and we were playing an Illinois team, so I think that's kind of how the connection happened.
Potosi, Wisconsin, what part of the state is that?
That's the south. It's the south, but I went to school in Madison, so right in the center. So we play a lot of Illinois teams. So. And
Madison College, a pretty solid team, I think, in that conference, correct?
Yeah, my freshman year we won the national championship. My sophomore year we didn't, but we're good.
Tell me about the squad and any other of your teammates or anything like that end up playing at four-year schools, or was it just you?
I had one of my other teammates played in Iowa. But other than that, I don't think really any other ones went anywhere.
Okay. Well, coming down here, you had an immediate impact on the team last year, one of the super subs for a good portion of the year, and then kind of worked your way into a starting role. It seems like watching your game, a lot of it has to do with hustle, and that's a big part of what you do, the defensive elements, rebounding, steals, you filling up a box score with assists and things like that, even though if maybe necessarily aren't, scoring a whole ton. Now, has that always been a factor of your game, or are you trying to fit in around the pieces that Georgia College already has?
I would say defense has been a big part of my game. In high school, was our main focus, defense. So, it just carried over. And I've never really been a scorer, but, we have really good shooters on our team now, so I don't feel as though I need to contribute there as much, for the defensive end. We're good at defense too, but I feel like that's more where I can contribute and do well in.
Now, the ability to take on a challenge defensively seems to be an important aspect for this team. More often than not, when we have the opponent's leading scorer, it seems like a lot of the scouting report says we put Thresia on that young lady to try and shut her down. Is that something that you take a little bit of pride in and put on the bootstraps and get to work?
I like having the challenge. I like being able to know that I have to really contain my girl because she's, the high scorer or one of the main threats on offense. But I know that if I can't do it myself, I know my teammates are always there to, step up if I do happen to get beat, or I know that I'm not only responsible for her, so that's always reassuring.
Yeah, it becomes a team concept defensively, but again, a lot of the times that challenge gets put on you, and it'll vary from guards to post players. And what's the difference defensively for you when you get that challenge of someone on the perimeter versus someone in the post? How do you have to adjust?
Well, when I play a lot of post and I have to go to a guard, it's you have to really alter, obviously, because I'm used to being running back and going into the paint rather than stopping a fast break or picking her up at half court. So I just have to remember who and my personnel, who I'm guarding, and so sometimes it takes a couple possessions to remember. Oh yeah, I have to make sure I pick her up at half court, or I have to make sure I get back for the post. But I don't think it's too bad. It's just have to get into it right away, and so then I can get used to it.
Now, one of the other things you do well is rebounding, of course, too. You lead our squad. You're in the top 10 in the Peach Belt Conference as well. And you're not exactly the tallest of gals, no offense to you. We're probably, about 5'7", 5'8", somewhere around there, right?
5'7" on a good day.
Okay, maybe lifts or something like that. But we got, you're going against girls 6'1", 6 foot and above. What's the game plan there? How do you still find a way to get to those loose balls?
Well, especially if I'm guarding a post or a post guarding me, I have to make sure that I know that I'm not going to jump over a 6'2" athletic girl. So I have to make sure that I actually do box out. You can't just attack and crash the boards, much less you have to, make sure you box out your girl. And I have to make sure that I go for the ball. I can't just let it come to me because, they're taller, so it's not going to be hard for them to just tip it over me. So I have to make sure I actually really do box out.
In your second year here at Georgia College, what's been the biggest difference between this year's team and last year's squad?
Well, we have a point guard now, but I feel like this team is really close. We all get along really well, and we mesh really well. We can pick each other up when we're down, and if one of us is struggling on the court, we have a lot of bench players that can come up and fill that void that we have. And our bench is great too. They always keep us going, know what we have to do, and always energetic. So I feel like we're just really good bonding team, and we get along really well.
I've gotten that impression from a couple of different players on the squad. That seems to kind of tend to be an ongoing theme. Shantiana Keys has mentioned that to me on a couple of occasions, that outside of the addition of a legit point guard, that has been the biggest difference this year. And the bonding element, how does that come about? And how are we so successful with that this year?
We all have the same personality, honestly. We're all crazy, and never know what to expect with any of us. And it just happened really. We all we all want to hang out with each other. We all want to be around each other. We we like each other's company, and we all have the same mindset. We all want to go far in the season, and we all are hardworking. So, really our morals and everything are the same. So it, works well.
All right. So, if you weren't playing basketball, what sport would you be interested in?
Volleyball.
Okay. All right. And we have some of that high school level volleyball for you, right? Or did you get some at
No, I was going to do it in college, but I was more focused on basketball, so just high school.
What position were you in volleyball?
Setter, outside hitter, and weak side hitter.
Okay, all right. School-wise, health education major, I believe, is that correct?
Community health, yep.
Community health, okay. So what's the game plan there? I know we got an interview, I think, coming up this afternoon for an internship, right?
Yep. I'm not really sure where I want to go with it, but I know I want to work with kids or even elderly, because I was a CNA, and I want to stay in the warm. I don't necessarily want to go back to Wisconsin, but it's wherever it leads me. I'm really open. It doesn't really matter. I'm just kind of searching.
Elskamp family probably a little depressed by that answer.
Sorry.
We're going to try and keep in the warm down here. Maybe you can make enough money and just bring the whole family down with you.
Yeah, that's my game plan. That's a good one. Goal.
Absolutely. All right, so again, looking forward, this is a squad that you haven't had, unfortunately, the benefit of getting to play in the Peach Belt Conference tournament. And we're right on the edge of that right now. I believe one game out of the hunt. And what does that mean for you and this team to be able to get into that tournament that comes up here in March?
Well, it's my senior year, so it means so much to me. And I know even with everyone else not being seniors, it means so much to them too. I mean, we have kind of fell off a little bit, had some losses here and there, but I don't have any worries that we're not going to be able to bounce back and, you know, pull out with our wins and play like we can play. So everyone's really excited to, you know, actually play how we can play, because we haven't been doing that.
Okay. All right. Well, our time here has come to a close. Thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it. I know we had a busy day. Got about 4 or 5 classes today with this internship. The rest of the day's full for Thresia, and we'll see her at the game on Wednesday. Big week for Georgia College. We've got 2 home games this week. Not sure if we'll get this out by press time, but stay tuned to gcbobcats.com for all the results there. You can catch the live streaming at ustream.tv/GCBobcats. Want to thank Mo Smith for being with us earlier. Thresia Elskamp here as well. Go check out the games over there at the Centennial Center or on the internet. Thanks for being with us, Bobcat Nation.